Alright, so it is Friday, February 9th, and tonight we are going to work on putting the center section, take it from over there, it's all set up, it's all ready to go, and get it back into the 9-inch in the back end here, get all the brakes, rear brakes put back in, bolt-in axles back in, get that all set and done, and then we are going to probably, I've got these little, they're 1/4-inch MPT 90-degree fittings with a 6AN fitting on the end, and we have a tap and a drill bit right here for 1/4-inch MPT right here, and we have to drill and tap the intake manifold so that we can get coolant bypass hoses there. So we might be doing that tonight as well. I want to make sure that's done really well, really nice. So we're going to give that a try and take our time with it, make sure we do it right. We got our camshaft in the other day. They sent me the wrong valve springs, so I had to return those, and they're sending me the new ones. But it's Isky cam. It is a solid flat tappet camshaft. So I know everybody's probably going to hate on that or whatever, or would advise against it, and I agree with that. It's probably better to go with a roller cam, especially if it's like your first engine build or whatever. Roller cam is a whole lot simpler and better overall typically. And eventually I will go with a mechanical roller cam, but this is what I want to try for this setup. I want to try their solid flat tappet camshaft. And this one, the rev range on this thing is 3,000 RPM to 7,500 RPM. And yeah, I'm excited about that. I really am. I got the correct lifters in this box right here. Got shims for the valve spring. This is the timing set. It's a Koi's billet timing set. This is what Isky recommended I run with this camshaft, so that's what we're going to do. Anyway, that's here. That's just going to be chilling up here for now. I don't have the right valve springs, so I can't even swap the valve springs out on these heads that I've got in this box. These are my Brodix Dragon Slayer heads. They're a 225cc intake runner, 64cc combustion chamber. Right now it's set up for a mechanical roller camshaft with the springs that are in it. They're set up for a 700 lift camshaft and have a whole lot more seat pressure than a flat tappet camshaft can handle, so we have to switch those out. But I don't have the new Isky springs yet, so I can't even set the install height and whatever on these yet. Anyway, I've got comp cams, Ultra Gold, I believe that's what they're called, the Ultra Gold or something like that. Anyway, they're full roller rockers. They're a 1.6 ratio, so we can get a little bit more lift out of our camshaft that way. And then we have comp cams stud girdles. This has 7/16 rocker studs instead of 3/8 rocker studs like on the old Brodix heads. And yeah, this should be a lot more heavy duty. Hopefully this is the last set of heads I have to buy, even for future plans with the Firebird, like using boost and going to a bigger engine. This should be a set of heads. It's probably a little too big for the 355. Would have been all right for a 383. Better for something with a little bit more displacement, but probably would work great with the 383 anyway. We're going to make them work with the 355 because we can't afford to do 383 this year, but that's okay. We have these beautiful heads, great rockers, great stud girdles, and I'm really excited to make all that work. But that's when we get the engine back. Engine finally went to the machine shop this Tuesday. It's not on the engine stand anymore. It's there. It's getting aligned for the new main caps that we put on. They got to get bored out to the correct journal size for the crankshaft, and then that's probably going to be 6 to 8 weeks because everything's booked out so far. but really excited for when that gets back, because now I finally have all the pieces of my engine parts to put it back together, other than valve springs. So that's really exciting. These Dragon Slayer heads, I know I've talked about it in a couple of videos before, but they've got a coolant port right here in between the two cylinders that have the Siamese exhaust port, which is great because especially if you're running any power out of that'll get your engine really hot, like nitrous or anything like that, it's really important to get all the heat out of it. Now, a lot of intake manifolds won't have the rear crossover here, so they don't really get the coolant out that way. But we're going to be running a coolant bypass from the front of our intake manifold right underneath the thermostat, which will take coolant from these ports to this T-fitting right here, which will be in here. And then we're going to run a line back to the back of the intake manifold, which will get coolant from those ports. So these heads should keep our engine extra cool as well. Really excited about all that. And so that's why I need to tap the heads for that. Yeah, let's get to it. I apologize for this segment of video. I didn't realize that the lower control arm dropped into the way of the camera while I was recording. So I'm just going to leave this here, but I wanted to apologize for that. Okay, so the center section is back in. Axles are installed. The brakes are reinstalled. As you can see, there is quite a mess of brake fluid under here, and that is because in an attempt to turn the caliper back, or the piston back inside the caliper, I am a little tired this evening and forgot that their left-hand thread to go back inside the caliper, and I ended up overextending it, and it popped out and spilled brake fluid all over the place. And then I spent about an hour trying to get it back in without damaging the piston seal on there, which I was successful, but it took a lot. So it's back in there. It has no fluid in the caliper now. Parking brake is back on and working correctly. I do have new cables from Right Stuff, which is who makes this brake kit, coming, allegedly, for this vehicle. They're supposed to be a adjustable or universal something or other. We'll see how that ends up working out, but allegedly they're what I need. So that's good. It's 2 a.m., so I think I'm going to call it a night. I got started kind of late, but it did take me a while with that caliper explosion. But we're going to call that a night, and I'm not going to get to drilling that intake manifold tonight. I guess I'll just do that tomorrow. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this video. See ya.